Let's talk about straw staging of menopause. In this staging, you should remember there will be the staging is divided as -4, -4, -5, -4, -3, -2, -1, and plus the terminology and duration and principal criteria and supportive criteria. There will be a principal criteria and a supportive criteria and descriptive characteristics. These three principal criteria. Terminology, the staging is -4, -5, -4, -3 is included in the reproductive age group. Okay, then this all -5, -4, -3, 3a, 3b, this reproductive age group again divided into early reproductive age, peak reproductive age, late reproductive age. Okay, then the duration of the each duration in the reproductive age group is variable. It depends on the when the menarche attained and when the menopause attained. Depending on that, the duration of the whole reproductive age is variable. Okay, then in reproductive age group, what is the principal criteria? That is the menstrual cycle, and the supportive criteria is the endocrine, this hormonal imbalance, and the antral follicle count is included in the supportive criteria. And descriptive symptoms, characteristics, all this vasomotor symptoms and urogenital atrophic symptoms. Okay, in the first, the reproductive age group. Okay, that is the how the menstrual cycle in the early phase it is variable to slightly regular, then in the peak phase it is regular, and late phase it is become regular. Early it is variable, then it is gradually it become regular. Okay, and the late 3 we subtle change in the flow length. Okay, then what is the supportive this is the principal criteria is the menstrual cycle. In the early phase there will be variable to irregular, then it gradually become regular in the peak and late phase of the reproductive age. Then what is the supportive criteria? The hormonal like FSH, AMH and inhibin B. FSH, AMH in the early phase it is low, in the peak and late phase it is low, low, this variable in the late phase. Then AMH level it is low in the reproductive age group, inhibin also low in the reproductive age group in the late phase. Antral follicle count is late phase it is low. Okay, then descriptive symptom, there is no symptoms in the reproductive age group. Then menopausal transition, the classification is range from -2 and -1. Menopausal transition, okay, it can be divided again into the early phase and late. The duration is variable, early is variable and the late is 1 to 3 years. Okay, then principal criteria, I told the principal criteria, descriptive criteria, supportive criteria and descriptive characteristic. Principal criteria, the cycle length, how the cycle in the menopausal transition, there will be variable length, there will be persistent variable length, more than 7 days difference in the length of the consecutive cycle. If for early phase there will be 7 days variation in the cycle, between cycle, and the late phase there will be interval of amenorrhea of more than 60 days of variation, interval of amenorrhea of more than 60 days, more than equal to 60 days. Then the supporting criteria, all the hormonal and antral follicle count, FSH, AMH, inhibin B. FSH will increase early phase, it will more than 25 in the late phase, and AMH will be low in early and late phase, inhibin B is low in early late phase, and antral follicle count is low and low. The descriptive symptom, the late menopausal transition phase, vasomotor symptoms likely develop. Okay, then these are the final menopause is attained, it is usually 51 year. This self loss 1 plus 1 2 plus 2, 1 is again ABC, Early, it is again divided into post menopause, early and late. This is duration is 2 years early. That is first 1 year is the amenorrhea for 1 year. Then the 3 to 6 year is the no menopause, no mens, remaining lifespan, no mens, no menstrual cycle. Then supporting criteria, the endocrine, the all are very FSH will be increased. Then it will in late phase it will be gradually stabilize. MH will low, very low MH in the late phase. Inhibin B is low and very low in the late phase. Very low antral follicle count in the early and late phase. Then symptoms, vasomotor, early phase vasomotor, most symptoms most likely in the late phase, increased symptom of urogenital atrophy in the late phase of the post menopause. The blood usually you have to draw on the cycle of day 2 and day 5 of day 2 to day 5 of cycle. If it is increased, then it is considered as elevated for FSH, AMH, and even B. Approximately expected level based on assay using current international standard. Okay, this is the straw staging. Remember, again I will talk stage there will be -5, -4, -3, that is included in the reproductive age, and then second is -2, -1. -2, -1 is included in the menopausal transition, +1, +2 is in the postmenopausal. There will be a principal criteria, there will be a principal criteria, there will be a supportive criteria, and the descriptive criteria. In the principal criteria, the how the menstrual cycle length and duration, variability. Then supporting the hormonal, endocrine, serum FSH level, serum AMH level, serum inhibin level, then antral follicle count. Then descriptive characteristic, there will be symptoms. What are the symptoms? These within 3 points you have to write. Then first is the reproductive age. It is divided into early reproductive age, peak, late. The duration is variable. Then in the reproductive age, there is principal criteria. What is the principal criteria? Is the principal criteria. What is the principal criteria in the reproductive age group? Is menstrual cycle. At a yearly phase, it is variable to regular. Then the cycle length gradually regular in the late reproductive age group, and subtle changes in the flow in the late. Then supporting criteria, the FSH level early, in late phase it is low, it is gradually variable, and the AMH also low and low in the early late phase, and even be low in the late phase. Then antral follicle count is low in the late phase and also low. Descriptive symptom, no symptoms. Then menopausal transition is a -2 to -1. Again, it is divided into early and late phase. It is perimenopausal and menopausal transition. The duration is -2, -1. Duration initially it is variable, then the 1 to 3 year in the late phase. Then there is a menstrual cycle. How the cycle? It will be variable cycle. The duration of the cycle length variation more than 7 days, persistent more than 7 days difference the length of consecutive cycle, and the interval of in late phase there will be a interval of amenorrhea for more than 60 days. Okay. Then in the supportive criteria, there will be FSH will be increasing, and in early phase, late phase there will be more than 25 international unit per liter. Then AMH low, AMH is early phase low, early and late phase AMH is low, inhibin early and late phase AMH, inhibin B also low. Antral follicle count early and late phase it is low, and there will be in the late phase of the menopausal transition the vasomotor symptoms are likely to develop. Okay. Then in the +1, +2, +1 is again A plus A, B, C. It is postmenopausal, early and late, late, early, late. Then duration is 2 years. First 1 year there will be a complete amenorrhea for 1 year. 1 year amenorrhea, 1 year amenorrhea. Remaining lifespan there will be no mens. No menses. Then the supportive criteria, FSH is increasing, the gradually stabilizing the late phase. Then AMH is low and very low. Inhibin B is early phase, it is low and very low in the late phase. Then antral follicle very low and very low. The descriptive symptom, vasomotor symptoms are likely to develop in the early phase. In the late phase, increasing symptoms of urogenital atrophy. Always do the sampling day 2 to day 5. Okay.